Today is the 26th day of Tammuz, the 1st of August. And we're starting chapter 12 in Shorish Mitzvah Satfila, in the Derech Mitzvah Secha from the Tzemach Tzedek. Ulavin ze bepratut be'ezrat Hashem yitbarach. Okay, so now he wants to get into more details. And you have to remember that when it comes to intentions, kavanot, we said that there were intentions before the Arizal. There were many things before the Arizal that were known. What they were particularly known for was counting letters and words. Most of the intentions before the Arizal were phenomena, different mathematical, numerical phenomena on whatever you were studying.
Gematrias, you said?
Gematrias.
Oh, okay.
But less so gematria, more how many words, how many letters, a lot of initials, acronyms, things like that. And again, most of them are brought already in the tour, on the tour Shulchan Aruch, the tour on Hilchos Kriyas Shema and Tefillah in general. You'll find a lot of them there. So one of them is well known. It's a well-known kavana. So we need to introduce Mashkadu Pri Etz Chaim. In Pri Etz Chaim, so I don't remember if we mentioned this in the beginning. He uses the book Pri Etz Chaim. Pri Etz Chaim is a compilation. It's an anthology of the different passages in Rav Chaim Vital on the davening and on the yearly cycle. So it starts out with the bigger section, which is on the davening itself. And there's like, I don't know, I think 25, 26 chapters on Shema. And somewhere towards the beginning, he brings this kavana. It's a well-known one. And it says, "Shebeparasha rishona de kriyat Shema yesh ba shem membet." That the first passage of Shema that we say, which is from Deuteronomy 6, it has a connection, an affinity to the name of 42 letters. This happens to be very connected to our Parsha, and even yesterday's reading, because yesterday's reading was that there are 42 journeys that the Jewish people, that the Israelites took in the wilderness. There are 42 words there. So he didn't say this yet, but he's just saying it's connected to the name 42. What's the name of 42? Yeah. So what's the name of 42? The name 42, it's not clear there. Rashi gives all kinds of explanations. The Arizal goes through a lot of explanations what it is. And we know it as Ana B'Koach. We know it by the acronym that was built, like a poem that was built from this name. So it starts Ana B'Koach Gdulati Mincha, Aleph Ged Gimel Yud Taf Tzadik, and then all the way down to the last. So it goes in 7 siktets, or seven groups of 6 letters. Now, where does this come from? That doesn't say anything. So it's well known already. The Ramak brings it that this name. And when we say a name, you have to understand the name of God. We think name of God means Elokim, Havaya, Kel, Shakai, all these names that have some meaning. Most of the names that are used in Kabbalah don't have meaning per se. They're not meaningful in and of themselves. They come out of something. So where did this name come from? It comes from the first 42 letters of the Bible, of the Torah. So the first 42 letters of Bereshis, they make this name. Now, Bereshis doesn't start Aleph Bet Gimel Yud Taf Tzadik. That's now Bereshis is Bet Reish Aleph Shin Yud Taf. So how do you get from that to that? So the Ramak brings in his book, in his compilation. It was very organized. One of the differences between the Ramak and the Arizal, the Ramak was the end of what we call the early Kabbalah before the Arizal. And he's very organized. Everything he brings almost like an encyclopedia. And he discusses things also. He says, is it this way? Is it that way? Should you understand like this, like that? But he takes topic by topic. So one of the topics is the names that they knew. And this is a name that is attributed to Rabbi Nechunya ben Akana, And the Ramak brings how you get from the first 42 letters of the Torah to these 42 letters. It's a lot of transformations, and the truth is, it looks almost like it was made up. What?
For the Rebbe's father. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm saying for him.
Yeah. So I didn't see that he explains it. There's actually two versions of not the letters. The letters everybody agrees on. But there's two versions of what poem to make out of it. Ana B'choach is one of them. There's another poem that's less well known. It was also written. But again, how do you get from this to this? You look at it, and the Ramak writes it out. It was well known. It wasn't like a question how you do this. Why they knew this, how they remember this, I have no idea. To someone like us, this means almost like nothing. It's like somebody told you, here's a code, just memorize it. Okay, I'll memorize it. So that's the name of 42. They used the name of 42 in the temple. It's that old. And again, why did they come to this? How did they come to this? Where was it revealed? Who revealed it? We don't know. We just know how it works. But then the Arizal brings something very simple, which is that there are 42 words in the first parsha of Shema. So,
not the included Shema. I checked it.
yeah.
No, yeah. What does it include exactly?
I think he's probably right. It's from V'ahavta.
That paragraph?
Right.
Okay.
He said it. We are after.
And he says here, Keneged Mem Bet Tevin, for the 42 words, Me'ahavta adu v'shalecha. Not the first Shema has 6 words to it. So altogether there's 49 really. And if you add Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed 6 more, then you come to another multiple of 6, the next one after 49, which is 55 is not a multiple of 6, so how does this work?
Yeah, you're right.
So I made a mistake. So it's 48 with the Shema and 64. 64 with Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed. So 64 is very nice. It's a square number. It's a square number.
Huh?
It's a square number. 54, sorry. Did I say?
You said 6, it's 54.
54. It's not a square number. Okay. But this is the well-known thing. There's 42 words. Now, Parashat V'aya im Shamoa yesh ba Shem Ayin Bet. Keneged Ayin Bet tevin Shemei V'aya ad v'samtem. So here they count 72 words. Now, the relationship between 42 and 72, this is also a name, the name of 72, but the name of 72 doesn't have 72 letters, as it has 216 letters, because it's 72 triplets of letters. And that's well known. That comes out of the 3 verses in Parshat B'Shalach, that have 72 letters, 3 consecutive verses that each has 72 letters. Vayavo, Vayisa, Vayet. Vayisa, Vayavo, Vayet. So those 3 verses, they're well known. There's only 2 such phenomena in the Torah. No, somebody who, again, I said, the way that they used to find these things was that they counted. So there's only 2 places in the entire Torah that you have 3 consecutive verses with the same number of letters. Only 2 places. The 2 places are Vayavo, Vayisa, Vayavo, Vayet, that we just mentioned, Parshat B'Shalach, just before the splitting of the Red Sea. And so it's considered the name of splitting, because it's like the name that was somehow involved in splitting the Red Sea. And the other place that's not well known is in Parsha, in the Parsha that has a very similar name. It's called Vayishlach, B'Shalach and Vayishlach. And there we have 3 consecutive verses that have 36 letters. And I believe it's 36. I hope I'm right. And that's in the kings of Edom, the 7 kings of Edom that died that ruled and died. So there's 3 such verses. There's only 2 places in the entire Torah. I don't know about the rest of the Tanakh. I've never received the tradition about that. But those are the only 2 places. So it has some meaning. But anyway, name of 72.
Why
Either
is counting 72 with something? Why
what?
not the whole Irish one? He said Irish one until the something. What do you say 216?
Because the name of 72 is really made of 72 times 3, because it's 3 verses that have 72 letters. That's how it works. So he doesn't really mean that name of 72. They called it the name of 72, but really what they meant was the gematria of 72. 72 is the value of chesed. So when they say the name of 72, they mean the name of chesed.
Chesed is 72.
כן. ולכאורה תמוה, בהיות ידוע בפרשת שמע, והיה הן חסד וגבורה. This, he says, raises a problem, which we have to solve now. The name of 42 is associated with gvura. It's associated with might. The name of 72, oh, good question. The short answer is because it's the name of creation. In order to create the world, Hashem had to limit himself. So it's the name of Gvura. In order to split the sea, he had to open it up. So that's the name of Chesed. And he was doing Chesed with the Israelites to take them across the sea. It was the name of Chesed. What? But now it's the opposite. That I would expect the first paragraph, the Shema, to have 72, and the second paragraph to have 42, but it's the opposite. Why would I expect the first paragraph to be 72 Chesed? Because in the first paragraph, it's all good. There's nothing bad there. It says, V'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. Everything is good, everything is positive. But the second one says, V'hayim lot. If you don't listen to Hashem, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, so that's Gvura. So he says, now why are they backwards? It should have been that the first paragraph would have 72. This is the question the Arizal asked.
Oh, the Arizal
but it's a well-known question. I don't think he was the first one to ask this question. And now he says, since the Shema is all loving kindness of Hashem to those who follow His ways, so why is it connected to the name of 42? That is from Gvura, from might, like judgment. דמשום הכי כל העליות הוא על ידי שם מבית משום שבחינת הגבורה בא סיבת העלייה וההסתלקות. Moreover, he says, might always indicates an aliyah. It indicates our work. We do hard work, and then something grows. That's gvura. Gvura means that you act by the way of nature. Nature, that's what we said about creation. The creation is nature. It's judgmental. Nature is very tough. It's not, there's no loving kindness in nature. No animal, no cheetahs ever chased down an antelope. Suddenly, as he's got him on the ground, says, you know what? I'm not going to eat you. There's no compassion in nature. Nature is all judgment. That's why, all the David Attenborough narrated BBC films are all such nonsense, because they turn it like into a world of compassion and human values. It's such nonsense. What are you talking about? Nature is nature. Nature is cruel. It's hard. They're trying to show why it's nice, and it has nothing to do with it. It's a complete misreading of nature. Nature is it's judgment. That's the way it is. There's laws of nature. That's it. It doesn't care. Like someone once said, here on Earth, we have civilization, so we think that nature is very nice. We go out to visit nature. Try living in nature. Oh, you want nature? Go out to space and see what nature is like. See how the smallest mistake you make, and you're nothing. And you crumble into nothingness. Because that's how nature is. Nature doesn't care at all. There's no care there. So, nature is also about judgment in the sense that you work, something grows. So the conception of nature, as opposed to the Garden of Eden, is that when God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden, now they have to raise their own nourishment. They have to raise it from below. So that's called might. That's called judgment. He gives another example that the nature of the fire is to go up. I don't know why he gives this example. The simplest example always is that you have to sow in order to reap. You have to work in order for something to grow. V'chen v'ayim shoma shu b'chinat gvura But Vayayim Shamoa, the second paragraph, is all about what happens when you don't do things. And so that's like getting kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And then you have to go work for your things. And things don't grow, and they do grow, and you have a whole difficult time with it. And it even says Hashem will be angry at you, judgmental at you. So how is that second paragraph related to loving kindness? It's the opposite. So this is the question that the Arizal poses, and we'll see the answer and how this answer is related to what we talked about, that in Shema we access Hashem who is beyond all the sfirot. Okay? We'll see that tomorrow.